Hi, Esther Goldberg, clinical and educational psychologist specializing in ADHD and personality. It is my mission in life to try and help people understand ADHD in order that people coping with ADHD can understand themselves. I really want to help you change something in the way you perceive these children and adults so that they can perceive themselves differently. The theme song of people in ADHD is I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. And they are continually misunderstood because people tend to judge and interpret and to guess and to educate rather than understanding what ADHD is about. This is about accepting neurodiversity, and I really think that the environment has a lot to do in helping people understand themselves. So please join me if you are interested in this subject. I said before that I really don't know what ADHD is. It's an umbrella term that really doesn't mean anything. I want you to specify what it is that is actually worrying you or talk about something that I see repeatedly coming up and is worrying you or interfering with your functioning. I don't want to talk about hyperactivity either. That is also too generic a term, too general. We want to break this up into different specific components. And I talked about the CHAMP model I developed, in which I break this up into small components in order to help you talk to your children about and adults about their ADHD. Again, I say it's about respecting individual differences and talking to them and not about them. I discussed three basic categories of hyperactivity, and this is so you can slot them in just to understand how to explain it to children and adults, but again, accurately, but again, each person can do it as you choose. Everything seems to happen at once. That's when I'm restless and all over the place. The constant chatter, why we're so flooded so easily, the race car that races through and doesn't stop and exaggerates, gets carried away, does big things, is always on the go, and the child or adult who is bored and seeks stimulation or attention, sometimes in a bad way, like in pestering or looking for trouble, when really he's not looking for trouble and he's not fighting, he's not antagonistic. But very often these things are misinterpreted, and that's why the theme song is so apt. The children and adults don't know the significance of the ADHD, even if they have been diagnosed. And I really think it is important to help them understand what exactly this means. So with the CHAMP model, C is to choose one component. And I'm again going to choose another component today, which is distraction. Distraction is different from inattention. The child or adult who is distracted pays attention to everything. And because he pays attention to everything, he's not paying attention to one thing in a sequence. Therefore, he is inattentive. The child with inattention or adult doesn't pay attention. Then also, he doesn't mean not to pay attention. It can be interpreted as as a lack of caring or love, and it really isn't. He's just unable to pay attention. His mind and attention wanders on an everyday basis. The H is how to explain this. The A is the active adult involvement. I really think adults and not psychologists need to help the child to see the ADHD, to see the significance, identify it, help him identify it. We said before, he doesn't know he has ADHD very often, and even if he does, he doesn't know the significance of it. So we want to be active as adults and help him see it as much as we can. M of the CHAMP model is metaphor. Choose a friendly metaphor, mindful metaphor. We're talking about mindfulness here and raising awareness. And P is for practice. We need to keep practicing this till it becomes perfect, because it is not automatic, because of the difficulties with regulation and an erroneous sense of time. So if I want to explain distraction to a child or an adult, I can use the metaphor of the beautiful widescreen television, the best television on the market. Again, the best because deep down they feel inferior, not because of a sense of shame, not because of bad parenting or a bad family background or whatever. It's about bad functioning. It's always about not functioning as well as I should be. The difference between the what and the how. I know what I want to do, I don't know how to do it. And therefore, we need to help him understand this and improve functioning on very, very specific points. And every time we do this, we add a piece to his puzzle and help him understand himself. So I can explain to him that he is like a split screen television, the best on the market. And because he's intelligent and he's curious, he's flipping around between channels and he's really enjoying himself. He sees a bit of this and a bit of that and comes back to this and goes back to that and flips back to that. And he's had great fun and he's got a basic gist of what's happening and very, very content with himself. But if I ask him what he saw on Channel 2, for example, he wouldn't know, not because he's not intelligent, not because he's inattentive, but because he wasn't on Channel 2 all the time. He was distracted. His mind was easily distracted. If it was really important for him to stay on Channel 2 because we're going to ask questions about it, or because he had an exam on Channel 2, perhaps it would be important enough for him to focus on Channel 2, especially if we reminded him that the difficulty was not in intelligence, but in actually focusing in sequence. The problem is sequence. Everything happens at the same time, and we're distracted and find it very, very difficult to focus in sequence, one thing after the other. I'll always tell him that there are many, many gifts to hyperactivity. This business of distraction is in fact multitasking, and the reason why we're good hunters and not farmers. We see the whole picture and then just make a decision, not like the farmer who plans what he is going to do and sows and then reaps his harvest. This is also the thinking of all the people who are managers and engage in multitasking, who see the situation from above. So remember, there's always a flip side to the detriment, and we have to talk to him about both the advantages and the disadvantages. The marketer, the entrepreneur, the manager, again, who see the bigger picture, the warrior, the soldier. So now I'm going to try and read to you a poem written by Karen Zaguri Cohen on the television. She's a mother who translated what I was saying in one of my workshops into beautiful poems that were originally written by her in Hebrew and translated into English by Barbara Sudnick. So here it is, and thank you to both of you. The television. My head's a TV filled with thousands of shows. You can flip back and forth, here and there you can go. Every choice is so thrilling, flashy, splashy, and then it's no wonder no show do I watch to the end. I taste and I nibble just a bit and a bite, and now the mess in my head is one perfect fright. Help him to connect. The same thing in school. There's so much going on. The chatter of friends, a bird on the lawn, a creaking chair here, a torn paper there, rat-tat-tat on the blackboard, some gum in my hair, John's really cool lunchbox with its broken latch, and the words of my teacher you expect me to catch. But sometimes it happens that I frantically flip From channel to channel, my attention will grip. And I stop at a show that's so grand and so fine that it draws me in fully, captures all of my mind. You can't drag me away when that happens. Oh no, for then to the bathroom I won't even go. So it seems I can focus, concentrate, and zoom in on the things that excite me, get under my skin. We can help the child understand and identify, tell him that books have been written about this, there's a poem about this, he's not alone. And we can engage in questions slowly. We don't have to ask all the questions in one go. Some mindful questions here would be, is the feeling of zapping channels in your mind familiar to you? When does it really strong? When do you really feel it? When does it disturb you, this zapping? When is it really helpful and neat? When is it easy for you to concentrate on just one thing? Why? How do you think you could stop the zapping if you really wanted to? Sometimes the TV in your head gets no reception at all. How does that feel? There's also an aside for the adult reader in the book, and I'm going to read that to you now. When there's a feeling that nothing is getting through to the television, it is important to remember that it is not helpful to smash it. We get so angry that we want to smash it. Attention is like television reception. Most of the time, the reception is good, but at times when there's no reception, it seems that all you want to do is to break the screen, while the problem is actually on the air or in the reception. And this is what needs to be addressed. Thank you.